Welcome to the Chop Seat, where Braves country meets the big leagues. Your host Vic is here to break down everything from truest part to the top of the standings across the league. From walk-offs to wild trades, this is your seat for everything baseball, but a heavy dose of chop. So grab your glove and settle in, because the Chop Seat is open.
Welcome to the Chop Seat, your favorite place for Braves, baseball, and the rest of the action from the league. I'm your host, Vic, and today is Friday, July 4th. Hope you guys are having a good one. We're going to catch you up with the action from the previous days. We're going to catch you up with the previous Braves series, and then we're going to look at the upcoming series for the Braves. So, yeah, we're going to get right into it as we usually do. No more needs for long introductions or anything like that. So let's start with our first segment.
It's time for Tomahawk Takes.
It's time for Tomahawk Takes, where we look at the previous Braves series. And Tomahawk Takes is brought to you by SeatGeek. Use code CHOPSEAT, as you can see below, for $20 off your first purchase on SeatGeek. Again, use code CHOPSEAT for $20 off your first purchase on SeatGeek. Save yourself $20, man. You go into the ball game, use code CHOPSEAT. You're going to be able to get yourself a bag of peanuts and some Cracker Jacks. You might not have enough for the drink. You might have to cover that out of pocket, but at least you're getting those bag of peanuts and Cracker Jacks. So again, make sure you use code CHOPSEAT for $20 off your first purchase. So yeah, we're going to get right into the previous series, and it was a series against the Los Angeles Angels. The Angels came in 41-42, one game under 500, as we had mentioned in our previous episode. He still had a better record than the Braves coming into this one, and again, it was a disappointing series. That seems to be the theme all 2025. So buckle up. It's gonna be a rough one. It's already been rough, and it's probably just gonna go downhill from here because we got some bad news when it comes to the Braves pitching staff as well. We're gonna get into that right after we discuss what happened in game one briefly, because we're not going to talk too much about it. There wasn't really much to talk about it. There was really no action, especially from the Braves offense. The Braves, they get shut out once again. They lost this one 4-0. It was Grant Holmes starting for the Braves. He did a phenomenal job. Another good start squandered by the Braves offense. He went 6 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 3 walks, 10 strikeouts, completely carving up the offense. But again, the Braves, they cannot take advantage of a good starting can't even think of the word right now. A good starting performance by their starting pitcher. That's what I wanted to say. I just completely blanked out there for a second. I apologize. Dylan Lee, he took the L in this one. He ended up giving up 3 runs, 3 of the 4 runs in the top of the 8th. He's now 1-3 with a 2.37 ERA. You can't really get mad at Dylan Lee. He's been pretty good in the bullpen the whole entire year. So, I mean, you're bound to have a game where you get tagged a little bit, and this was a ball game for him. The other one was tagged on to Enio de los Santos when he was on the mound in the top of the 8th as well. So it was a 4-run 8th inning for the Angels. That was pretty much the ballgame. Like I said, Braves bats can't put anything together. When we see that when this team cannot score more than 3 runs, probably more than 4 runs, they're not going to win the ballgame. It's just the way it is. And the thing is, it's either they have one big inning in a game or they're not hitting at all. And that's a problem. You got to be able to tack on runs throughout the entire game. You can't win and live and die by just having a one good inning. If you do have one, that's what is coming down to. That's what is coming down to right now. This point of the season, they're either having a good inning where they're able to score multiple runs, and that's it for the ballgame. So it's like, and also when they fall behind early, they're usually losing the game, which is another terrible way to live and die. So anyways, this was actually Alex Verdugo's final game. I had mentioned in a previous episode where we were discussing who was going to be on we knew who was on the chopping block, but we just didn't know exactly who would be optioned or DFA'd. when Jurickson Profar was going to come back from his rehab, in quotation marks, his rehab assignment, I had said that I thought it would be Verdugo, and that's exactly how it went down. Alex Verdugo, he's DFA'd to make room for Jurickson Profar. That happened on Wednesday before the game. Daysbel Hernandez, my boy Daysbel Hernandez, he was returned from his rehab assignment as well. He actually followed me on the personal page. Shout out to Daysbel. Hopefully we can get him on the chop seat soon. We'll see if we can work on that. Right-handed pitcher Kevin Herger, he was optioned to AAA in order to make room for the Daysbel Hernandez. And then this was the terrible, terrible news that we received. The left-handed pitcher Austin Cox, he was recalled. That's not the terrible news, but he was recalled because Spencer Schwellenbach, he was placed on the IL, 15-day IL, but it's going to be way more than 15 days. He's out now with a fractured right elbow. A tough, tough blow for the Braves. This might be the cherry on top, guys. This might be it. To be honest, you were relying heavily on Spencer Schwellenbach, especially after Chris Sale went down with his rib injury, his rib fracture. So now you lose Spencer Schwellenbach. He's been, if you listen to my episodes, he's been the stopper for this team, man. When you seriously need a win in a bad spot, he's been stepping up and having great pitching performances, holding it down, giving the offense a chance to be able to win the ball games. And to have him go down now is just, like I said, it might be the cherry on top. We got to be honest. And unless some major moves are made by Alex Anthopoulos before the trade deadline, it's not looking too good, because now you're going to have to rely on Bryce Elder. And we're going to see how that goes. You got the rookie, the kid, Didier Fuentes. He hasn't looked good, to be honest. He has not looked good. It looks like he's not ready for MLB, and you can't blame him. The kid's 20 years old. He might be just sent back down, honestly. If that's the way it's going to be, you might as well bring up another arm, more veteran type of arm that, just going to eat up innings, because you don't want to mess up this kid's future now as well. Him getting rocked here and there, that's going to mess him up. You don't want to do that. Kid's just starting out his career, so you might as well just send him back down, let him get some more work, improve his craft, work on his craft, and just, again, bring up another guy that, for a spot start here and there, and just go from there. But again, now the only good stars you have is Spencer Strider and Grant Holmes. Bryce Elder, he's not it. Didier Fuentes, you're probably going to have to send them down. And then the other spot now, you're going to have to get a spot start or something. So they might pick up somebody off waivers or free agency, whatever you want to call it. Or I guess make a trade here, to get some quality starter. But I don't know, man. We're 8 games under right now, so it's not looking too good for the Braves. I was hoping they'd be able to get close before the All-Star break to get closer to 500. Hopefully 2 or 3 games back, 4 at most, not back, but 3 games under 2 to 4 games under 500 would have been great to go into the All-Star break and then, get that fresh start for the second half. But it's not looking that is going to happen. So, I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. That we'll see. But anyways, that was the terrible news. And the way that the Braves front office put that out also was a little funny, because I posted on my Instagram where they posted the breaking news, and I feel like most people, you want to hear the bad news first. Give me the bad news and then you give me the good news. So what they did, they put the good news first, which was Profile was coming back in the first paragraph, and then they had Daysbel Hernandez is coming back in the second paragraph, which was good news, and then in the last paragraph they hit us with the Schwelly injury. So I don't know. It's like they try to sneak it in there last minute or something. I don't know. But next time, Braves, just give us the bad news first. Don't play around with us like that. Just give us the bad news, then you give us the good news. Kind of makes it a little bit easier for the fans. But anyways, we're going to look at Game 2. Game 2, it was an 8-3 victory for the Braves. Again, you see when they score runs, this team is able to win. Again, they got to score heavy. You got to score more than 3. Like I said, probably more than 4. This game was started by Yusei Kikuchi for the Angels. He went 5 2/3, 6 hits, 2 runs. Both of those earned 2 walks, 7 Ks. He now has a 2.81 ERA. For the Braves, it was the rookie Didier Fuentes. He went 3 2/3, 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, 3 walks, and 6 Ks. He now has a 9 ERA. The bullpen picked them up, though. They definitely picked them up. Aaron Bummer, Daismer Hernandez, Rafael Montero, Dylan Dodd, they all combined for 5 innings and 5 1/3 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 1 earned, no walks, and 6 Ks. That run came off of Dylan Dodd, and the win goes to Aaron Bummer. So nice job by the bullpen. They've been pretty good. We got to be honest. They've been pretty good so far. Of course, they're going to have off days here and there. But, the pitching is not really the problem for this squad. It's just the offense is so it's just there's no word for it, man. The offense is just dead. That's exactly what it is. This game they showed out a little bit, which was good to see. But again, it's not at a consistent rate. You get 1 good game, you get 3 bad games. You're not gonna win any ball games like that. On the top of the first, the Angels, they did get out to an early lead. They had a 2 RBI single by Joe Adele. That made it 2-0 Angels. In the bottom, the Braves offense was pretty dead the entire game. It was pretty dead the entire game. Bottom of the 6th, though, they turned it up a little bit. And surprisingly, it was with 2 outs that they put all these runs together. You're going to see. And it was started by the guy making his return, Jurickson Profar. With 2 outs, he hits a single. Ozzy Albies, he follows him. He follows his boy with a single as well. That makes it 1st and 2nd. After that, Ryan Severage, and I hope I'm pronouncing it right, he comes in for Yusei Kikuchi. He comes in to face Sean Murphy. Sean Murphy, he greets him with a 3-run blast to left center field. That gives the Braves a 3-2 lead. Sean Murphy, again, with another clutch homer. That was his 3rd homer in 3 games. After that, Michael Harris II, he singles. Nick Allen, he works a walk. Acuna, he works a walk. So, again, this is all with 2 outs. Then it's Matt Olson with the bases loaded. He sends a 1-0 inside fastball to the chop house. That's a grand slam. That gives the Braves a 7-2 lead. You get happy. You get excited when you see the offense finally clicking. When you can do that, especially with 2 outs, you're thinking, all right, here we go. This might be the game where they can start putting some consistent at-bats together for the rest of the season. That's not what happened. You'll see why next. But again, that was a 7-2 lead for the Braves. Profar, bottom of the 7th inning, he hits his first homer of the season. He hits that one to the chop house, a shot 413 feet. That makes it 8-2 Braves. The Angels, they're able to score 1 in the top of the 9th. But that was it. That makes it an 8-3 ball game, an 8-3 win for the Braves in Game 2. Big inning there in the bottom of the 6th for the Braves. But like I said, you can't just have 1 good inning and that's it. You got to keep your foot on the gas for the entire ball game. And they just failed to do that all year. And then Game 3 was a 5-1 victory for the Angels. Again, this team, they only scored 1 run. The offense was pretty much, they were just completely dead this ball game, just like in Game 1 when they got shut out. And this game was started by Bryce Elder. That didn't help it out. He went 5 innings, 8 hits, 4 runs, all 4 earned, 3 walks, 5 Ks. He gave up 2 homers. He's now 2-6 with a 5.92 ERA. For the Angels, it was Jose Soriano. He's been pretty solid this year. He went 7 innings, only 3 hits allowed. No runs, 2 walks, 7 Ks. He's now 6-5. He got the W. Win number 6 for him with a 3.72 ERA now in the season. And Jurickson Profar, he was the guy that gave us the lone run in the ballgame. He had a solo shot, his 2nd of the season in the bottom of the 9th. That was what made it 5-1 Braves. The Braves only have 5 hits total in this game, and it was 3 off of the starter, 2 off of the bullpen guys. That one, like I just said, it was a homer by Jurickson Profar. So now the Braves, listen, the Braves are now 11.5 games back in the NL East. I've been saying this for a while. You can't really, there's pretty much no hope in the NL East. You got 2 good teams on top of that. And now you got the Marlins. The Marlins have surpassed you again. They're a half game over you. You're now 7 games back in the wild card. You have like I said, Marlins jumped over you. Now you got 8 teams ahead of you in the wild card race for that last spot. For the last spot, that means you got to jump over 6 teams. You got to jump over the Miami Marlins, Arizona Diamondbacks, Cincinnati Reds, St. Louis Cardinals, San Francisco Giants, and the San Diego Padres, with the Brewers and the Mets holding the 2 top spots for now. So a lot of teams you got to jump over, and a lot of teams that are playing good baseball, especially those obviously towards the top of the standings there. But I mean, you got a tough hill to climb, man. Tough hill. Not even a hill. This is a mountain. This is looking like Mount Everest right now, to be honest. That's how bad it is. That's how bad it is. You got plenty of time still, but the way that you're playing baseball, you're not going to be able to do it. You got to start. I keep saying this. I feel like I say this every episode. You got to start having some consistent offensive performances by your main guy, especially Austin Riley, man. Austin Riley needs to start kicking it up a notch. Ozzy Albies needs to start kicking it up a notch. Marcell Ozuna, he's hurt. But I mean, if he's hurt, you might as well. You might have to. If anything, you might have to shut him down. Let's be honest. Might have to shut him down. He probably doesn't want to. This is his last year of his contract. He probably wants to go out there and try to, earn some more money out there. Now you understand that, but I mean, if it's gonna keep hurting the team like this, probably gonna have to shut him down, and maybe you're gonna have to alternate between Sean Murphy and Drake Baldwin at the DH spot. Might have to do that. You don't really have any other, options when it comes to putting somebody else in DH. So that's probably the best scenario for you. Unless again you pick someone else up in the meantime. It doesn't look like Anthopoulos is gonna be making too much moves this year. So I don't know. That's just the current status of the Braves right now. It's not looking too good, like I said. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. It's not over till it's over. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of games still left. You're 7 games back, and I think we got the Cardinals coming up soon. What this team is missing is to get on a nice little winning streak. That's all that this team is missing. You saw the Marlins. Didn't they win? They just won like 8 in a row or something like that. They won 8 in a row. I think they won like the last 4 series. You got to start going back to winning series, man. And it has to start with this one that's coming up for the weekend. You got to start it now, man. You got to start it now. You're just one nice winning streak away from turning this around. That's the problem. The Braves haven't had a nice winning streak. I think the longest one they've had this season has been 40 games in a row. And then you start losing a whole ton. That negates the whole effort. So, I mean, imagine you get a nice 5-game winning streak. You're 8 games on there right now. You got a nice 5-game winning streak. That puts you at 3 games on there. Way better position. Let's say then you lose the next 2 and then get another 5-game winning streak. You're back. That's all this team is missing to put some back-to-back wins together. That will turn it around, but I don't know, man. I don't know if it's going to happen. We know what this team has to work on, like I said. Hopefully, they're able to continue to get some good pitching performances from, the 2 guys that you can rely on right now, which is Grant Holmes and Spencer Strider. Then in these other games that are going to be pitched by Bryce Elder and God knows who, the bats are going to have to turn up. Bats are going to have to turn up a lot because those guys that are pitching for the Braves are probably going to be giving up a lot of runs. So anyways, we'll see. Got to be patient with this ball club, but eventually if it's past the All-Star break and you're looking like this, then it's GG's, bro. You might as well, trade a few pieces and try to get better for next year and just call this season an L. So anyways, that's it for Tomahawk Takes. Let's start heading into our next segment.
It's time for the MLB.
It's time for the MLB, where we catch up from the action from around the league. We have some good series. We got a new team in first place in the AL East. We're going to see who that is shortly. But the first series we're going to look at it was the San Diego Padres at the Philadelphia Phillies. The Phillies, they win 2 out of 3. And this one, they win the series. They won game 1 in a shutout 4-0. Game 2 was postponed on Tuesday. There were a couple more postponed games on Tuesday. They had a doubleheader on Wednesday. They lose the first one. The Padres win the first one 6-4, but then the Phillies come back and get the series, winning game 2 of the doubleheader 5-1. Next, we had the St. Louis Cardinals at the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Pirates, they get hot. They sweep. Yes, you heard that right. They sweep the Cardinals. They don't even allow a single run this series. They win the first one 7-0 shutout. The second one a 1-0 shutout. And then the final game, a 5-0 shutout. Andrew McCutchen, he gets hit 2,200 of his career. Good to see from Kutch. Here we go to the AL East. A new leader in the AL East, the Toronto Blue Jays. They end up getting the 4-game sweep on the New York Yankees. You heard that right. The Yankees got swept in a 4-game set. And listen, I mentioned this one in the previous episode. If you listen to me, if you listen to the show, if you actually listen to the show, probably like 1 or 2 of you guys, if you actually listen to the show, I said after this series was all said and done, you might have a new leader in the AL East. Honestly, I didn't think it was going to happen. I thought maybe it was going to be a split. But the Blue Jays, they come out to play, specifically George Springer, bro. This dude went off. He was 8 for 14 for the series. The last game, he had 2 homers. He went 3 for 4. In the second game, he had 2 homers. He had a grand slam, bro. Grand slam with 7 RBIs in the second game of the series. This is crazy. Road to the show numbers for him in the series. It was a 5-4 victory for the Blue Jays in game 1, 12-5 victory in game 2. Wednesday's game was pretty nuts. I think the Yankees were down 7-0. They end up coming back. The Blue Jays, they still find a way to win this one 11-9. And then to complete the sweep, yesterday's game, the Blue Jays, they win this one 8-5. And they had for the Yankees, Clark Schmidt, he leaves the game after 3 innings with right forearm tightness. So remember, the Blue Jays were 3 games back. And now after sweeping the New York Yankees, they're 1 game up in the AL East. So very impressive performance from them this series. And, they've been playing some good baseball. So good to see from them. Then we go to Cincinnati at Boston Red Sox. The Red Sox, they win game number 1, 13-6. They win the second. Well, this was a suspended game. It was 5-3 when they got suspended. And on Wednesday, they finished it. Same score, 5-3. Boston wins this one. And then Cincinnati, to avoid the sweep, they win game 3, 8-4. Next, we go to Tampa Bay. The Athletics at Tampa Bay. At the Athletics, they win the series. They win 2 out of 3. 6-4 win in game 1. 4-3 win in this one, game 2. That took 10 innings. And then Tampa Bay, they fight them off again to avoid the sweep as well. They win this one 6-5. The Athletics, they scored 3 runs in the top of the 9th in this inning, but the Rays were able to hold them off. Next, we go to Texas. The Baltimore Orioles at the Texas Rangers. Game 1, it took 11 innings to win this one, but the Orioles, they win this one on the road 10-6. They lose game 2, 2-10. Texas wins that one. They show out offensively, and then they show out on both sides of the ball. In game 3, they end up shutting the Orioles out 6-0 victory for the Rangers. Again, they win 2 out of 3. Next, we go to Seattle. Kansas City Royals at the Seattle Mariners. This game was a split. The Kansas City Royals, they end up winning game 2 and game 4. So pretty much they just alternated. Win Seattle, Kansas City, Seattle, Kansas City. Then we go to San Francisco at the Diamondbacks. This was another split of another 4-game set. This one was Arizona. They won the first 2. And then it was San Francisco winning the final 2. The third game, it took 10 innings to win that one. It was a 6-5 victory for the Giants on the road. Next, we go to Miami. hot Miami team. They were facing and hosting the Minnesota Twins. They are able to beat them in game one. Marlins win that one 2-0. The Twins, they come back in game two. They win that one 2-1. But then the Marlins, they come back and get their 4th straight series win. They have now won 9 out of their last 10. They win the final game 4-1. Miami playing some good ball, man. Them young boys down there. Then we go to Detroit at Washington. The first game was postponed. They had a doubleheader on Wednesday. The Tigers, they win that one 11-2. That was game one. Nationals, they come back in game two. They win that one 9-4. And then the Nationals, they are able to beat the best team in the American League. They win the final game and the series 11-7, the final score on that one. James Wood, he went 5 for 5 with a homer, 2 RBIs. And news, James Wood has now entered the home run derby, so he'll be down there in Atlanta hitting some shots. He's going to be exciting to see, man. That's a big boy right there, man. He's going to be exciting to see. I'm going to see some over there probably by the chop house, man. He's going to be aiming for that chop house probably. So that's going to be exciting to see. But I'm still going with my boy, man. I got to keep my word. I said when I saw James Wood, I'm like, oof. That's going to be a little scary for my boy Acuna. But I said I'm going to go with Acuna. I'm going to stick by my guy. So we're going to see what happens then. The next series, we go to Queens, not the Minnesota Brewers. Wow, new team has entered the chat. Just kidding. Milwaukee Brewers at the New York Mets. Game one was also postponed in this one. But the Brewers, they win game one of the doubleheader on Wednesday, 7-2. The Mets, they come back and win game two, 7-3. And the Mets are able to win a series. They're back in the win column. They won this one 3-2. It was David Peterson. So he went 6 2/3, 1 earned run allowed. That was their first time in 2 weeks that a Met starter went 6 innings. So they've been struggling when it comes to the pitching staff. Again, they've been having to suffer and deal with some injuries with their pitchers. So, they're trying to hang on, man. They're trying to hang on. Good thing is that they had a good start to the season, so they're able to afford a couple of losses or a bad stretch here and there. So, good to see the Mets fans happy again. They're going to be having a nice, exciting series this week, and we're going to get into it in a little bit. Another series we had was the Cleveland Guardians at the Chicago Cubs. The Cubs, they bring out the brooms. They continue to show their dominance. A really, really solid team. These guys can score runs without a problem. They won the first game 5-2, second game 5-4, and then a walk-off victory, a 1-0 classic for the Cubs. It was a walk-off sacrifice fly by Matt Shaw. That makes it 7 straight losses for the Guardians, man. The Guardians struggling right now. Struggling. Hopefully they're able to get off of that boat and get on a new one. Next, we go to Colorado. The Houston Astros at the Colorado Rockies. An easy one for the Astros. They won the first one 6-5. Well, it wasn't easy. It was a little close, but you know what I mean. 5-3 victory in game two for the Astros. But then, hey, game three, the Rockies, they're able to get their 20th win of the season. You heard that right. The 20th win of the season. That comes in July off of a 7-6 victory against the Astros. So, I mean, it's kind of crazy to think that you're getting your 20th W in the month of July in baseball, man. That is crazy, but that's the way things are going for the Rockies. And then our final series, it was the Chicago White Sox at the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Dodgers, they bring out the brooms at home. They sweep the White Sox away. It was a 6-1 victory in game one, 5-4 victory in game two, 6-2 victory in the final game. Dustin May, one of the games, he had a 0-6. But the highlight was Clayton Kershaw. He was able to record his 3,000th strikeout of his career during the series. I mean, Kershaw is one of the greatest pitchers of our time that we have been able to see and witness his entire career. So, congratulations to Clayton Kershaw on getting strikeout number 3,000. Got some news. Like I said, we had the James Wood entering the home run derby. They got the All-Stars revealed. The All-Stars were revealed for the game in Atlanta. It's going to be for your American League. Kyle Raleigh, he is now the starter for the American League. He's actually the first Mariners catcher to be selected to start the All-Star game. First base is going to be Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He's going to be there. Gleyber Torres, he's going to be starting at second base, his first starter election. He's the first Tiger starter at second base since Plácido Polanco in 2007. At short, it'll be Jacob Wilson for the Athletics. The rookie has been selected there. Third base, Jose Ramirez. He's underrated. He's so underrated, man. This guy, number 7 All-Star selection from him, his 4th starter selection. He's a Hall of Famer. He continues to put this up. He's a Hall of Famer for sure. Ryan O'Hearn, he's going to be at DH representing the Orioles. This is his first starter election. And the outfield is going to be your boy Aaron Judge. That's the 7th election to start. Riley Green, he's been having a phenomenal year. He's going to be starting and representing the Tigers in the outfield. And then Javi Baez, he has gotten himself an all-star starter spot. He's going to be in the outfield as well. Very impressive to see from El Mago making that comeback, as I mentioned, probably a while back, a few months, maybe a month ago. But he has been he's had a renaissance, man. So good to see from him making that all-star team. In the National League, it's going to be Will Smith at catcher. That's his first starter election representing the Dodgers. Another Dodger at first base, Freddie Freeman. That's starter election number 5 for him. Ketel Marte, well-deserved. He's going to be starting at second base. That's his third starter election. Francisco Lindor, he gets his first career starter election representing the Mets. He'll be at short. Third base, Manny Machado, his 4th starter election. At DH, it's Shohei Ohtani, his 5th starter election. In the outfield, our boy, La Bestia, Ronald Acuna Jr., that's his 5th starter election. And in the to complete the outfield, a couple of Cubs. It's Pete Crow Armstrong. He's making his first starter election. The Cubs phenom has been selected by the fans. Fans love him. He loves the fans. And it's going to be the newly acquired Cub this offseason. Kyle Tucker that came over from the Astros. He is now getting his first starter election. So congrats to all these guys. They have been balling out. Hopefully they can continue to ball out in the second half of the season and have some fun, man. Have some fun and put on a good show during the All-Star game. And then the other news we had, it was that Cleveland Guardians pitcher Luis Ortiz, he's being investigated over alleged gambling violations. I wasn't sure what this was about in the beginning, but then I saw that apparently it had to do with something with his first pitches of an at-bat or something like that. I guess you can bet on the first pitch of an at-bat how it's going to go, if it's either a ball or strike. And they I saw a video on Instagram where it was completely like he missed the strike zone completely. Like he threw the ball in the dirt or whatever in 2 different at-bats. And allegedly someone had a crazy amount of money bet on those outcomes. So, I mean, I don't know. Let's see how that turns out. I wasn't too sure about it, but then that's what I read on it. So pretty much it's like I tell my boy, yo, throw a ball against this guy. I'm gonna put $1 million on it. He throws a ball, we double up on the cash. Pretty much that kind of scam going on. So he's being investigated. Hopefully it's not right. Hopefully he actually did miss those pitches and maybe he had some bad grip on it or something. And whoever was betting on those games, just having to make those bets. But who knows? Who the heck knows? Anyways, that was it. Let's look at the matchups coming up for the weekend on this holiday weekend. It's going to be Boston Red Sox at the Washington Nationals. You got the Cincinnati Reds at the Philadelphia Phillies. Keep an eye on this one. The Cincinnati Reds have been playing good ball, so you got to keep an eye on them. This is another one to keep an eye on. This is a classic rivalry. The St. Louis Cardinals will be at Chicago facing the Cubs. This is another classic. The Subway Series. New York Yankees will be in Queens facing the Mets in the Battle of the Boroughs. The Bronx versus Queens. I got to go Queens, honestly. I love Queens, man. Queens is probably I'm from Manhattan, uptown Manhattan, and then I lived in the Bronx, but I went to high school in Queens. Queens got a special place in my heart, man. Queens is awesome. Queens is fun. The vibes, like they say, Queens get the money, man. It's fun out there. Queens is fun. Anyways, we'll see how that series goes. Let's go Yankees. Let's go Yankees. Help us out a little bit. We need all the help we can get. But anyways, then we got Pittsburgh Pirates at the Seattle Mariners. We got the Tampa Bay Rays at the Minnesota Twins. We got the Texas Rangers at San Diego. The LA Angels, after beating up on the Braves, they're heading to Toronto, facing the first place Toronto Blue Jays. We got the Detroit Tigers at Cleveland facing the Guardians. We got the Milwaukee Brewers at the Miami Marlins. Chicago White Sox at the Colorado Rockies. The battle of worst. Battle of the worsters. That's even a thing. Another one to keep an eye on, though. The Houston Astros will be in LA facing the Dodgers. Nice little World Series rematch from a few years back. We got the Kansas City Royals at the Arizona Diamondbacks. And then we got the San Francisco Giants at the Athletics. Those are all the matchups that we're going to have for the weekend. So make sure you keep an eye on your team and see how they do. So that is it for this segment. We're going to head into our final segment, and that's...
It's time for your Braves forecast.
It's time for the Braves forecast, where we take a look at the upcoming Braves series. And the Braves are going to be hosting the Baltimore Orioles. They're coming in at 37-49. The Braves are 39-47, 8 games under, as I mentioned before. And remember, we had mentioned this was the longest homestand that they were having, a 9-game homestand, the longest one of the season. You thought they were going to, do good, but they are now 2-4 during this homestand. So it has not gone well. You got 3 more games against the Baltimore Orioles to complete the homestand. You sweep it. It was a nice homestand. You go 5-4. Anything below that, you lost the homestand. So we'll see how it goes. They're not going to sweep. They're not going to sweep. Reverse jinx. They're not going to sweep. But game 1 is our old friend, champion. Hopefully he gets a nice ovation. Uncle Chuck, Charlie Morton. He's 4-7 with a 5.63 ERA. He's going to be going off against Spencer Strider, who's 3-6 with a 3.86 ERA. That game will be tonight, 7:15 p.m. start time. Game 2 is going to be Dean Kremer. He's 7-7 with a 4.27 ERA. Not too bad for him this year. It's going to be against our very good friend, TBD, going for the Braves. We're going to see who the heck that ends up being for Saturday's game, but that one starts at 4:10. Hopefully TBD could do better than Bryce Elder. If he does better than Bryce Elder, TBD is going to get another shot once the rotation comes back around. So again, we'll see. And then game 3 is the early bird special for the Braves. I don't think they have the early bird special yet. It's an 11:35 a.m. game. I think when they're at that time, I think the games are on Roku, is it? I think. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But it'll be Trevor Rogers going for the Orioles. He's 1-0 with a 2.05 ERA. For the Braves, it's going to be Grant Holmes. He's 4-7 with a 3.47 ERA. So, yeah, for the series, you got a couple notes here. Nothing too crazy. Obviously, you got the 2 most disappointing teams of the season facing off each other. 2 teams that have been struggling. Definitely underperforming. Definitely underperforming. They have the talent. The Braves have the talent. The Orioles, they have the young talent, very good talent, but they haven't been able to demonstrate it on the field. It hasn't been clicking for both teams. So we'll see. We'll see if one of these teams could get it rolling during this series. We're gonna see if Jurickson Profar, man. I was excited to see him come back. I know some people were like, they should bench him. They shouldn't play him. And this guy, he's going to be, if the Braves are going to be any good, this guy is going to be the key. Let's see if he can continue to provide a spark for the Braves. Let's see if Acuna can, I know he's had a few bad games. Let's see if he's able to go back to his form. Matt Olson's been good, like I said earlier. Sean Murphy has been displaying some power. Austin Riley needs to get going consistently, man. He needs to get going consistently. So does Albies. But we'll see. We'll see how the offense turns out here. And let's see if the offense could take advantage of hopefully what is going to be some quality starts from the starters, from Spencer Strider and Grant Holmes. TBD, I can't tell you how he's going to do. I don't know. I can't tell you how TBD is going to do, but hopefully they're able to, mash during this game also and be able to, sneak out with a W in that TBD game. So, anyways, that's it. I don't got too much going on with this preview. Not much going on. It's pretty straightforward. 2 teams that have sucked. 2 teams that are struggling. 2 teams that are trying to get back to 500. A little bit of a longer climb for the Orioles. They're 12 games under. Braves are 8 games under. So we'll see how this series turns out. We'll be talking about it on Monday. So before we end off here, I want to continue to thank you guys for listening to the show. Truly appreciate it. The views are going up, man. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. And getting more interaction on TikTok as well. That's been pretty dope to be able to talk some ball with you guys on all the platforms, man. Across all the platforms, the support has been very good for just us, opening up this podcast, this show. So been pretty awesome to see. Thank you guys for continuing to use that ChopC code on SeatGeek. That has been dope to see the support of you guys using that code and saving yourself some money, man. It's all about saving ourselves some money, especially in this economy. So thank you guys for doing that. If you know anyone that's a baseball fan, a Braves fan, baseball fan in general, send this show over to them. Share the link, have them follow, listen, subscribe, whatever the heck else people say when they have a podcast. Share the show. We're going to have some more good episodes, and we're still working on having some guests. We're going to see how that goes. Just bear with me. But we're going to make it happen. Eventually, we're going to make it happen. By the end of this year, we got to make that happen. So, again, thank you guys. Stay safe this weekend. Hope you guys have a good one. And we will see you next time. Later.